This is Dr. Charles from NextGenesis Healthcare. This is phase 2 of shoulder stabilization. Now, by this point, we have focused on the bigger muscle groups that will help when we strengthen the smaller rotator cuffs. There's also one other bigger muscle that we will target in phase 2. The reason we didn't target that in phase 1 is because there's no way to train that without the use of your rotator cuffs. Okay, so now we're talking about your chest feels strong, your back, biceps, triceps, possibly the lats, they all feel pretty strong. You're ready for what's next. The rotator cuff work, please make sure, as I mentioned, the rotator cuffs are small, vulnerable tendons and muscles, right? So you wanna start with something light. This is not about load so much, it's more about the repetitions, okay? So something like this. Now, the rotator cuffs is responsible for external rotation of the shoulder, and you see how this arm does not move, right? A lot of people, they do one of these. See, my elbow is off my torso. No, this stays right here. External rotation is this motion right here, okay? And also internal rotation, which is the opposite action. And the third muscle that we're gonna add on is abduction this way, targeting our deltoids. Now, using a band, you can probably imagine this is pretty simple. Hey, some of the good things we talked about in the previous phase 1 video, set the shoulder blade, right? And you never, well, this doesn't really apply in that. So you wanna set the shoulder blade before you begin, and that stays there. My elbow is gonna stay right by my side. That is activated. This is all nice and tense. And from here, same concept. You wanna take everything slow, just like this. My elbow is not moving off my torso. It is external rotation. You wanna take it slow, give it a nice squeeze, slow on the way back. Don't let the muscle rest. If I go back further than this, it's going to rest. You see, right here, boom. Elbow is staying where it's at. If the elbow, you tend to wanna do one of these, that's letting you know that this load is too much for you. Right? So you want to lower the resistance. I'm right here, elbow by my side, boom. My shoulder blade is set. All the muscles are nice and stabilized there. The internal rotation is the opposite action. So I'm right here, my shoulder blade is nice and set back here. My elbow is by my torso, and you're going in this way, boom. Slow on the way back. You don't want to let this muscle rest. Right here. The scapular setting right here, that you never let that go. You see 3 of your rotator cuffs anchor from your shoulder blade. So if the anchor is displaced, not where it's supposed to be, you can see how it can be a risk for potential injury, right? It's a mechanical disadvantage for the rotator cuffs to pull from that angle. So keep the shoulder blade set. Keep the elbow by your side. This is right here. Internal rotation, subscapularis. The deltoids. Now this one, just with any other exercises too, if you feel bad type of pain in the shoulder, I'm talking about, as you're doing the exercise, you go, ooh, what was that? You see, you never wanna feel that. If you feel that, discontinue, and we will talk about it. Now, the deltoid exercise I'm gonna have you start with is called lateral raises. You can just go ahead and step on this. Now, this is very important because this focuses on what we call abduction, where the shoulder comes straight up this way. Now, very, very important, set the shoulder blade. I will say it every time, set the shoulder blade in and down before you start, and this stays. One thing also you'll notice is I will never lift up completely off to the side right here. That is 0 degrees horizontal. In fact, you want to stay in front. It's okay if it's more than 15 degrees. It's safer that way, right? So set the shoulder blade, make sure it's in the front here, not to the side here, and you're going nice and slow, boom. And I feel it right here, this big shoulder muscle, the deltoid right here. So slow on the way back, Don't let the muscle rest. Give it a nice squeeze when you get to the top. Right here, fight through the burn, take the muscle to fatigue, 2-minute break, and repeat. You are looking for that soreness the next day. Now, military presses is what is coming up next. So the military presses, now, before I go on, by this point, once your bigger muscles are nice and strong from phase 1, the weight loading on the shoulders should be much more comfortable. In your mind, you know you can do this, right? It's no longer a question, I wonder if it'll hurt when I do this. It's, no, I know for a fact I can do this. That's the point you want to get to before you start loading the shoulders. That is phase 2 of shoulder stabilization.